What's going on, everybody? This is Lecrae, and welcome to my channel where we talk about faith, culture, and hip-hop, and some of the things in between. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of sports. I don't know. You know what I mean? You know how we do.
Idiot. You should have never tried to stand up for that insignificant Dominican kid. I tried to tell him, but he wouldn't listen. Now
Hello.
Welcome.
Are we coming through, Andy? Are we coming through?
I think we're coming through.
Right,
Might be better now that you turn off the AC.
Yeah. We're here to suffer for you guys.
That's right.
Taking one for the team here.
See, Patrick just brought it up. I told you, Patrick. Can you believe that Manny didn't know anything about Sparking Zero?
Sparking Zero.
That's Budokai Tenkaichi 4.
I know. I did not know anything about it, but we can bring up some of the trailer in 2x speed or something.
Yeah. We gotta bring Mike on so we can talk about the games of it.
So is it gonna be straight up?
It's
like is it the same 4. Budokai?
It's Budokai Tenkaichi 4, but it's
I think for the time it was good. I don't know if the same mechanics would be as entertaining today, though. You know, because
no, it still
I think part of Budokai was it was so novel. It was really like the first well-made.
Wait. Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi, 2 different games. But before we get into that, welcome to Reform Nerd, where we talk about all things anime and the Bible.
And Jesus.
So if you got questions about anime, we're the guys to talk to. If you got questions about the Bible, we're the guys to talk to. If you want to mix both of them up together, then you're going to be in for a really fun time.
Yes, sir. Today before we get into it, just give you a heads up, we're going to be talking about what the title said. We got some questions. We got some questions from some peoples about Dragon Ball Z, whether you should watch it, specifically coming down to the violence piece. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit today. But before this, I need to refresh my memory a little bit here.
Budokai?
Let me see. I would just want to make sure that you and I are both.
So Budokai back then was
the same thing.
Think of it like Street Fighter. It was that Street Fighter style.
Budokai.
And the Budokai Tenkaichi was the first one where you can like fly around and control all of, you know.
How would you spell it?
So yeah, that's so Budokai Tenkaichi.
Let me bring up the webs.
Yeah, bring them up. Bring them up. Bring them out. Bring them out.
Let's see.
Go
Let
into
me see.
images. All right, so yeah, so click on that one. That's Budokai Tenkaichi.
Bro, it's the same thing. What are you
No,
talking
it's
about?
not. Budokai is very different, and in my opinion, a little better. Yeah, we're trying some new lighting.
Yeah,
I'm a little too dark right now, so I get lost in the background.
dude. Oh, hold on. I gotta. Are you sure?
Look up,
I feel
bro.
like you're confused.
No, listen, my brother and I, we obsessively played Budokai. Like I remember
Hold on.
Budokai.
All
3,
right.
man.
Let's look up some Budokai videos real quick.
No, look up Budokai 3.
Look right here.
the
This is
first
story
one.
mode, right?
Yeah, look up 3 because 1 is horrible. 1 is literally the worst one. Thank you. There we go.
All right. Let's see. Bring it up low.
Yeah, put that like on 1.2.
I don't think they copyright the games though.
Yeah, okay.
Let me see.
Yeah, dude. Woo. My brother and I would play this for hours on that, man. Hours.
Yeah, this is the one that I was thinking of, Budokai. So you're saying Budokai? What is it?
But it's put up so
Tenkaichi.
Oh yeah, Tenkaichi. No, put 4. Put 4. So
That's the new one? No. I want to see the old one first.
Yeah, 3.
3 was the last one. Let me see.
Yeah. Patrick, you're wild.
Hold
3
up,
was
is this
not
it?
trash. 3 was the best one. Yeah, that's it.
Let me see.
Like, you see, you can like move around the arena and stuff like that. I'm telling you, man, we gotta do some video game reviews. You see, the style is very different.
It's the
other
same.
one, no, it's not, because the other one was like This is
Bro.
more button masher than the other one. The other one you had to know the combos.
Bro, this. Okay, let me see. Hold on. I just want to see.
Like, there's one attack button that does everything. There's one key button. Like, the strategy you need in Budokai 3 is so much more than on Tenkaichi, in my opinion.
It's very similar. It's the
No,
same
it's
type of like whatever. Square, and then
No, because-
energy, and then you would do your Kamehameha. Is
No,
it the same
because
on
the
both?
other one, each button had a certain thing, right? Like, you had punches, you had kicks, Kai Blast. You had, like, the beam struggle stuff.
I mean, I definitely remember Budokai. It's very similar because you suddenly like float around a bunch. This was all basically like head to head. This one is just a little more like around.
You could fly
but it was
around
the same,
and crap like that, yeah.
But it was the same mechanics for the most part, from what I remember.
Very different.
I know. I'm gonna have to like
It's so funny.
download the game and try to remember. But
This just reminds me, I'm so mad. My PS2 got stolen from me. Lost all these games.
Wait, when you sent didn't you send it to like DR or something, or
No,
somebody
not that
robbed
one.
you?
My PS2, somebody...
Michael robbed you?
No. An old deacon friend of ours asked me to borrow it. Then he moved, never gave it back. So I lost Need for Speed. I lost all my Dragon Ball Z. I lost everything.
What a friend.
Man.
All right,
Exactly.
let's catch up on some of these chats. All right, so we have a verse.
Oh, nice.
We have a verse that we can
Fits in perfectly because we're talking about video games, right?
look into a little bit later.
We did not mean to ignore you, Shadow of Humanity. I just was nerding out a little bit.
Yeah. let's save that so we can look it up. So Patrick is saying Dragon Ball Sparking Zero when it comes out.
Budokai, just so you guys know, we're not saying Booty Kai. Budokai.
Really? So is it gonna be for the Switch?
I don't know, man. The graphics are pretty intense. So
Are they? All right.
Yeah, I don't think it can.
I mean, graphics have never been like that crazy for Dragon Ball games. They've been like decent, but it's not
you
like
need to come over my house and play
out of the world.
Kakarot. Kakarot looks amazing on my TV. Yes.
All right, so got PS5, new lighting. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay.
You wild Patrick.
Patrick says 3 was garbage.
Yeah,
No, I
he
think
needs
Aichi
Jesus.
3 was great.
He needs
Gameplay
Jesus.
was better than Budokai. Man, I need to play some PS2. Bruh, it's been a long time.
I miss mine, man.
It's been a long time. The version that I had,
Did he have the fat or did he have the slim?
Fat or Slim,
PS2.
the fat one.
I had them both.
Oh, okay. Show off.
No, I just broke my fat one.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not a show off moment.
I remember that my main character for those games was Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Because of the height and speed.
Mm-hmm.
Which one was that one?
Well, Gohan was short in all of them.
No, but I mean, I think that he had a clear advantage in this game. Whichever one it was that I'm thinking
It's
about.
probably Budokai, just a regular one.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the one that I mean, I've played them both, but
It's like, I don't know if you remember the N64 GoldenEye. If you
Yeah,
play
yeah.
with Oddball, he was so tiny you
shorter.
couldn't shoot him. Yeah.
got it. Well, enough of the game. Okay, remember the end of the show so we can
Yes.
watch some of the trailer. Because
Yes.
I haven't seen the trailer.
It looks amazing.
I have seen. I don't get a chance to play a lot of video games. Blame my wife and children.
Yep. I'm in that boat too.
So let's see here.
So what are we talking about today, Manny?
Yeah, we're talking about being like Jesus, like every
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 other day?
Monday. I was gonna say every Sunday, but what happened was, let me see if I can share my screen again.
Thank you for sending that, Pat.
And we got this question. You want to read it?
Yeah. Hello, man. God bless. Can I ask you a quick question? Is it a sin to watch Dragon Ball? And then you sent there saying, hey, brother, I don't believe watching DB is inherently wrong or sin. And then they wrote, and the violence.
Yeah, so that was a question mark. And then I figured we would just
Go from there.
create a video and talk about it.
Yeah,
So,
why not?
right off the bat,
Is this the start of the new series that you and I were talking about?
it can be.
Yeah.
Although I don't like working in series.
Well, it's
for
not going to be back to
lives,
back, but you know,
Yeah.
if we see enough of the same questions pop up, I think it's worth
Yeah.
addressing it. So
So what do you think? I mean, I think we're all on the same page, maybe. But should you watch Dragon Ball Z as a Christian?
absolutely.
Is that acceptable? What about the violence? Let me show you some violence. Let me show you.
Oh Lord,
This is that's why I picked that picture, and this is legit
Yeah.
what I was reminded of.
and it's so much worse in the manga too.
In the manga, it's worse.
Oh, dude, yeah. This is like
this is
somewhat
when
censored.
this is when like Gohan goes
He was the man.
ham, bro.
This
Like,
is the real beast Gohan
this is
right
unleashed Gohan.
here. No, this is the real beast Gohan right here.
Facts.
That's
Never
pretty much
came
what
back.
it is.
Look at he split him in half. Look at
In the manga,
this
there's
guy
like
was
blood
so
and everything.
pissed he like crumbled the ground and then kicked the dude and exploded him.
Yeah.
Look at that. In half, no mercy, head off.
Yeah. This was golden era, 80s and 90s anime right here.
Look at that, he's
We
running
just got into
away.
2000s.
No mercy.
Flat.
I feel like Goku at that point would have shown some mercy. You don't think so?
Maybe. I mean, we got to remember, right? Goku lost his like Saiyan instinct or that anger side of it. Gohan, he never got it beat out of him. So, Shadow of Humanity. What do you
So
mean?
how can you say that it's okay to watch anime? Well, to watch Dragon Ball Z after seeing all that violence on TV. Should you really, as a Christian, be exposing yourself to? That is the question that our viewer was asking.
we just need to be consistent with what we say and what we believe, right? So to say that this is problematic is the same way to say that so much stuff on TV is problematic, or
Maybe you shouldn't watch those things on TV.
you're not watching nothing on TV except for VeggieTales. I don't know, man. I mean, for me, here's the thing, right? Like everybody's walk is different. I think this is really what is important. What comes out of this, and it makes me think about like Sunday sermons, right? You can have a sermon that's going to hit a general population, but it's going to be maybe more home hitting for select people. And I think it's the same way when we look at anime.
I think as you talk, I'm going to have all these brutal scenes from Dragon Ball Z playing in the background.
That's okay. Right? So, like, for me, in my case and my brother, we were necessarily influenced by all this because...
You guys weren't, like, play fighting?
Nah, because we had the games. Like, the only time...
I play fought a lot with my kid brother.
I just fought with my brother. But that's just brothers being brothers. Like, to me, it's like, okay... I'm not going to be influenced to fly or shoot lasers out of my hands or grow a horn and just stab somebody.
You mean you never tried to create a Kamehameha?
Oh, absolutely. But that's just copying the show. Not like I'm going to blast somebody to kill them, right?
Yo,
like,
I legit, as a child, we're talking about probably...
early 2000s.
Yeah, I want to say 2000s. I had to be less than 9 years old. I was like meditating, trying to like create a key blast in my hand. I think I've shared this story before, but there was a time when like a friend of, I don't think it was a kid from school. I don't remember if he was my friend or not, but like we got into a fight saying that like my dad could do a Kamehameha and his dad wasn't able to do a Kamehameha, and like, the stuff that kids come up with is
well,
crazy.
Kids say a whole bunch of wild and crazy stuff, right? Like, look at that. This is actually an interesting take from Pat, right?
What's up?
I took a break from watching DBZ earlier in my walk with Christ just so I can be close to God. I eventually got back into DBZ when Battle of Gods came out. Wow. That was a while ago. My Lord. That was during COVID that movie came out.
Patrick came back when the new episodes showed up.
Patrick just had to binge watch for a minute. I mean,
catch up.
Again, I don't know with this, man. As kids, as much as we want to believe in it, we still know it's fantasy. And we don't try to like literally go off and kill people. So for me, this is one of those things where Paul just says, everything is beneficial. I mean, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Right? Like, realistically speaking, I think the question should really be more of, should we be spending so much time watching it instead of necessarily, is it a problem to watch?
Let's talk about the violence first, because I think it's a reasonable thing to actually think about. Like, should you avoid things that are portraying violence? In any capacity.
I mean, if you're talking about it in any capacity, get rid of your phone, get rid of your
Maybe
TV,
you should.
Get rid of your Bible. Hans brings up a good point. Get rid of the Bible.
Some of the Old Testament.
And the New Testament. All of it, bro. What are you talking about?
New Testament after Jesus.
Bro. You're wild.
Well, actually, the apostles got beat up a few times.
Times?
But it's not described to like manga status where it's like, oh, this guy got punched in the face and this guy got this.
Bro, do we need to look up Jesus's depiction of how he died?
No. I said after Jesus.
But that's another good one. Goliath and how he had a stone thrown through his head and that instantly killed him. Or do we talk about, the other apostles and how they were either boiled alive, crucified?
Yeah, but that's not in the Bible. That's not in the Bible. It happened, but it's not in the Bible. What?
That's another going right there, Revelation. Dude, no, is it in Isaiah? It's either Isaiah, Daniel, Revelation, where the way that it describes like people dying, it's like on par to a nuclear explosion. Like where their skin just melts off.
But it's a little bit different because the Bible is instructional and it's meant to sanctify. I don't think that's necessarily the purpose of Dragon Ball Z. The motive is entertainment.
Exactly.
So should you watch violence for entertainment? That is the question.
I mean, that's no more WWE, no more UFC.
Right, but you're just naming other
forms of
formats, but you're still not answering the question. Like, should we, as Christians, watch violence for entertainment? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's that's like the core of the question.
Yeah.
Regardless of anime or not.
I think that's up to the individual.
You
I can't give like an
you had to
exact,
think a little
like-
bit, huh?
Well, I can't just say like, oh, blanket statement, nobody can watch it.
Yeah.
I really think it's up to the individual and what they can handle.
Yeah, I think so when I read this question,
Yes.
what I started to think about was more like people have like, let's put the Bible aside, because obviously we know in the Bible there's magic, right? To an extent, there's violence, right? We see that
Demonic possession.
there are a few things like that.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like all throughout history we've told stories, right? And I think even the Bible in and of itself is a story of good and evil, right? It's a story of a spiritual battle that is taking place within earth, God versus Satan, right? And I think that a lot of what we watch, a lot of entertainment that we watch, for the most part, that's what it's catering towards. It's depicting to an extent the battle between good and evil, and within that battle, there's always violence. Like, you're not like praying, like, it's not like good praying for you. You know what I mean? It's not like we're all just meditating. Like, it's an actual fight, right? It's a battle.
Yeah.
So I think, like, from that perspective, I think it's fine. I just think it's more, you got to be careful for a few things. One, things that are overly like indulgent on the depiction and the details. Like, I think even games, like, they've gotten to a point where it's like so realistic that
Grand Theft Auto or Mortal Kombat.
Well, yeah, like sometimes it's like, what are you feed? Like, what is the entertainment feeding? You know what I mean? Like, why are we dying so much to see like an actual person like being hurt? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's even in movies, I think it's gone like to this other side where like gore has to be more and more. Like, The Walking Dead was kind of like one of the first, I think, of that generation where like, oh man, like they've upped the brutality up a notch, and I think it's continued.
Man, you're cracked out.
What?
The Saw movies were significantly worse.
Saw 2, yeah.
Saws
are big. I don't know about it.
What's this
It
movie?
is not that much, but definitely I'll give you Saw. But
the Asian girl coming out of the TV. What's that movie called too? It's like black and white. It was a Japanese movie, and then came out. If you watch the movie in 7 days, if you figure it out, you die. But that was bad too.
But regardless, I think that over the years,
Andrea,
like, we've had like this craving
Thank you.
for entertainment to continue to feed this fantasy of gore, right? So I think that from that perspective is definitely something that I think Christians should indulge in. Another thing that I think it's kind of dangerous and you got to be careful with is the portrayal of good
versus
being
evil.
bad and bad being good. You know what I'm saying? I think, like, for the sake of storytelling,
Patrick,
for the sake of being more entertaining and doing something new, I think like we're starting to see also like, oh well, maybe the evil can be good, or the good can be evil for the sake of, like, telling a new story. So I think, like, for me, those are some of the things that I would be careful with when it comes to not just anime but any genre. But ultimately, I mean, it sounds kind of like fluffy, but like it comes down to the individual. But I would dare to say that even something like Saw, I don't know, bro. Like, why would you be watching that as a Christian? You know what I'm saying?
I went through a time frame that I loved the Saw movies, and I just watched them all. And then after like the 5th one, I was like, okay, this is getting like really dark.
And you also gotta think through like what that's doing to your psyche as well.
Well, and that's really what it's all about, right? Is what are we pulling from it? Regardless if it's good or bad, we draw and we learn things from the things that we watch, right? this is a super paraphrased version, but I think the Bible does say that the eyes is the doorway to the heart. So what we're taking in is what we're making more a part of ourselves and stuff like that. So,
So I have not been keeping up with the
yeah,
chat.
no, there's a lot.
Anything
There's a
we
lot.
want to
there's a lot here. So keep on going.
share?
Actually, no, right there. So Hans talks about David in the Bible and the Goliath scene was hardcore. Janiel mentions, I think that with DBZ, there are a lot of life lessons that can be learned, even amongst the violence, especially with Goku. He is the most merciful character and has been able to reform other characters. Very true. Hans talks about Revelation being filled with a lot of imagery. Rafi says, but do you think the Bible makes violence a cool thing, like intentionally? And that goes to your point. What is the purpose of what's going on, right? Like, God was using humanity to wring out his justice, even though he could have done it himself if he wanted to. God used the Israelite people to wipe out nations and stuff like that from what they were doing.
Like, I definitely do feel, I'm pretty sure that there were probably a few kids that got into fights in school because they were like envisioning themselves as like Goku or somebody, you know, like fighting evil. Or
I wouldn't be surprised. Keep on going down. Patrick, where's that link that you posted? Because that's a good one. The anime version of Jesus being beaten and hung on the cross. Janiel talks about if violence is the question, then it is up to what the individual themselves are mature enough to handle. DBZ is one of the least gory animes depicted. I mean, despite the violence portrayed, plus the violence is never without reason. That's a very interesting point too, because you know Goku defies the whole idea of, well, I'm just going to be violent to be violent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always trying to save somebody, trying to help somebody. It's always the betterment. So then it goes more into this, right? Like when we talk about Peter slicing the Roman soldier's servant's ear off, he did it to protect Jesus. A lot of the violence that we see that is portrayed within the Bible is always that idea of good versus evil. It's never just random.
Let me ask you something.
Ask away.
When you saw this scene, right? Gohan versus the Cell Juniors.
Yes.
You were like,
this is epic.
Yeah. You
100%.
were indulging
100%.
the ruthless violence that
because
he was ensuing.
The bad guys were getting what they deserved. These guys, remember, right? Context is key, bro. You're showing this, but you're not showing the fact that these guys were absolutely annihilating the good guys that are trying to protect the earth from being destroyed. And so this kid, he loses his limit, but he's giving them what we would feel like they deserve.
But in that moment, I know all of us were like, yo.
They got what they deserve.
Like, this is like take that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They got what they deserved. If you go back, guys, and if you've never seen Dragon Ball Z, and this is your first time seeing this, but before this, they are mercilessly beating the defenders of humanity.
You know, as you were saying this, I'm thinking about, because I think we've all envisioned this in our mind, right? Some guy is talking crap about you, right? And instead
we talked about this the other day,
and instead of you staying shut, instead of walking away, like the cool thing or what we would like to happen is that you come back with like this fire comeback and you embarrass the crap out of that dude because he got what he deserved.
Exactly. That's what we would. That's normally as humans what we want to do. Absolutely.
But is that what Jesus would do? Probably not. And so I'm saying
Depends.
that I think you got to be careful because sometimes you can get amped on some of these scenes that you can think back to, and maybe it's not so much that it shows up in you fighting somebody, but maybe it shows up in you wanting to tear somebody down in another way that maybe you don't like or you think that they're coming at you in some way.
Yeah, no,
just saying. What do you think?
Well, this is something that you and I talked about a couple months ago that I was struggling with. This is something that we talked about a couple months ago that I was struggling with. That it was this idea of me getting my vengeance through trying to forgive, but in the wrong way. It's the same idea, right? And here's the thing. It doesn't have to be just violence. And that's what I get a little caught up with because people always freak out. Oh, well, this is very violent. This is all this and that. Well, you don't need violence to be able to fulfill what this show might give people. you can fulfill vengeance in forgiving people.
Or
and
wait a
that's
minute.
why.
How about this?
That's why.
Another angle. Well, what if it's on the other side where, you wish that you would have, gotten back at that person that was talking crap, but you let it go as a good Christian, and then you like amp yourself down by watching the good guy kicking the evil guy's butt. Is that wrong? Is that okay? What do you think? What do you think, chat?
You gotta explain that one again.
Okay.
I'm like trying to understand that.
You have an encounter, right?
Yes.
Some dude insults your wife.
Mm-hmm.
You do the Christian thing and you walk away from the situation, right? Mm-hmm. You don't engage. Mm-hmm. Okay? You're like, you know what, honey? Come on, let's go. And then in order for you to like amp down,
yep,
you put on a scene or an anime where like the good guy is like kind of like almost what you wished that you could have done to the dude, but you didn't. But instead, you kind of let out your frustration by watching the good guy kick the bad guy's butt. Like, is that
that's
wrong?
That's perfectly fine.
That's fine.
That's
okay.
Perfectly fine. Because here's the problem.
Because that's another angle that I don't think we've discussed about.
We've never in
what
the
do
church.
You think?
I think that we get so hung up with turn the other cheek that us as Christians we don't try to address.
Rafi says that could not be fun.
Oh my Lord! Of course you would. That's my wife. No, I think that a lot of the things that the church doesn't address is how do men deal with their frustration in a healthy way.
There is no healthy way.
There is a healthy way, right? It's healthy for us to be aggressive sometimes. It's needed. And it's funny, right? Because I wanted to go to David's comment over here. David Kinner, thank you for joining us. I think it's interesting that Melechon, I so said that wrong, and many of the scholastic reformers would say that people should read the Iliad, Odyssey, Aeneid, and many other kinds of mythology that taught lessons, virtues, these violent stories as well. There's a lot that we can pull from this. And I think also we see a lot of the reformers telling us, and this is more my personal opinion, I haven't really dug into it, but just to understand what's going on with society and what people are able to relate to. I mean, Paul does that in the word where he references outer biblical texts. Yeah. So that way the people at that time can also understand.
But you're not necessarily watching a heathen anime like Jujutsu Kaisen
so
you can relate to other people.
Here we go.
You're just watching it for entertainment.
Yeah, I'm watching it for entertainment and character development.
That's a fair point. A good way to engage in culture is to know,
what's going on,
what's happening, what people are looking at, and what they're watching, for sure.
Now, does that mean you watch all the perverted anime? No, it doesn't. You don't need to engage that much in culture.
Yes, 100%. Healthy boundaries.
Exactly.
Let's catch up with some of the chat.
Han says, violence and gore are different. Like, nakedness can be either instructional or pornographic. That is true. Medical
little bit of both.
Medical uses compared to OnlyFans, right?
Fair enough.
Rafi, how would you feel? Would you feel comfortable letting your kids watch Dragon Ball Z and why? My son
kid is already
going to watch Dragon Ball Z. I'm just waiting for him to build the attention span, and he will watch Dragon Ball Z.
I will say I am a little bit more mindful of maybe Overlord, an anime that I've been catching up on.
Lord, I gave up on that.
I can't.
And you talk to me about Jujutsu Kaisen, and you're watching Overlord. Come on.
No.
Come on.
What?
You know I'm going to give you crap for Overlord.
Overlord is actually...
Bro.
Like this guy is not... The main character is not meant to be a good guy. Your guy is meant to be a good guy.
Bro.
Overlord is actually looked at as almost like agnostic. Like he's neutral. And the interesting piece of it all is that you almost see him lose his humanity in the way that he interacts with people. So... I think it's a good essay on losing your humanity and how far you can go when you don't have Jesus in your heart,
bro.
How about Jujutsu Kaisen?
Ghetto. This is a great example of a human that's losing his humanity.
Oh yeah.
He is.
By eating demon fingers.
No, that's Itadori. I'm talking about Ghetto.
I don't know who that is.
Anyway, yeah, that's the
All right.
one of the bad guys. But
Don't digress though. Let's
Yeah.
finish the comments.
all right, so my wife says that sounds mad vengeful. Janiel says he would encourage his son to watch DBZ. Let's see. Patrick referencing Bizzle. See, I'm glad I got another Christian hip hop head in here, man. Bizzle's the man. Daniel says, Manny, as men, we need a healthy outlet for our frustration. Weightlifting, watching anime. Janiel, you can't mention weightlifting. saying that now.
Yeah. Ooh.
Nope, can't mention that one.
I want to know what you're doing at 5:30 that you're not coming to the gym.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
So you're living vicariously through something else. That's the same as playing GTA or punching a pillow. It's not always a healthy way to de-escalate over active emotions or process anger.
What do you think about that?
He's right. He's absolutely right, because this is an issue that I had, especially when I was younger, where the issue for me wasn't the outlet, but it's more of the how do you control the frustration? How do you control yourself from getting there? And this is still something that I fight with, right? Like,
Yeah.
I have more control now, obviously, but it is always where's the boundary of, okay, healthy outlet compared to, okay, you're just letting your emotions take control and you're just blowing up on stuff.
I gotta say, guys, sometimes it is just nice to watch the good guys win.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like a nice thing, yo. Like, there's still a God out there, you know? He's still out there
There's
winning
still
victories,
justice,
at
man.
least in anime, you know?
And see,
what's
Patrick
that?
says heathen, but I'm sorry. Where's the heathen? Who's the heathen?
No. I think he's just laughing when I said your heathen anime of Jujutsu
okay.
Kaisen. Yeah.
Let's see. Me watching food. Oh Lord, that was a big mistake.
Yeah.
I did that mistake too.
I actually stopped watching that show. It was just like, it was too much.
No,
Too much.
I remember
Too weird.
my wife and I were like, "Oh, let's see what this is," and it was like 1 minute in.
and
We're like,
honestly-
"Okay, done."
And honestly, it is a shame because
The animation's great.
the animation is cool and
Yeah.
the story behind it I thought was interesting, but it's just too much.
It is. Let's see. Mike says that
We gotta
watches-
do a list of anime. No,
we
that's
can't
bad.
do a
I was
list.
like
That's a
a
bad
list of
idea.
animes you shouldn't watch. Will get freaking
That-
everybody watching all these animes. No,
Exactly.
probably not a good idea.
We're starting to spread this to some of the other churches around, so we can't do that. Let's see. So men naturally have a tendency for violence. We need an outlet for it, being living vicariously through a male protagonist of a show or some physical sport, etc. Let's see. Michael watches.
My daughter watches Dragon
Yep.
Ball Z with
My
me.
niece watches Dragon Ball Z, and she's only 8 months old.
My kid
so
is
fine.
watching One Piece with me. So
Oh Jesus! Janiel says, Anthony, don't give crap on Overlord, man. Patrick says, yeah, Food War is definitely a no-no. Let's see. Hans says, I can't believe you haven't watched Frame Manny. What's that
What
one
is it?
about? Yeah, what's that one about, Hans?
I don't think I've watched what you're talking about, bro.
I don't even know which one that is. And then my wife says, Manny, if Xander punches your wall or way, because the heart's covering, can't see it. To let out his frustration, how would you respond? I know how I would
Manny, if
respond.
Xander punches a wall to let out frustration. I mean, it's better than punching his brother in the face.
Yeah, it's a lot better. That
You
is
know what
very
I
true.
mean? Like,
Very true.
I would rather him do that than hit his brother, and then we got to work on calming it down a bit. Healthy ways of dealing with frustrations. But I mean, if you're punching like a punching bag, I don't think that we would say that that's not a
No.
healthy way of releasing some stress.
For sure.
I mean, if my kid is constantly punching holes on the wall, then obviously that's another story.
Yeah. It is not okay to punch holes in walls. It is not. Not one bit.
I punched the wall once.
I've done the same thing too. But it's not okay.
Happens to the best of us.
Yes, it does.
Hans, I don't know what this is.
I've seen this character.
Looks like an ecchi anime. Why she's look at that cutie
Isekai.
anime.
It's Isekai, bro. There's no
You know what? That's another topic maybe for next live. Like, what is going on with all of these isekai animes? By the way,
it's
for
all-
those that don't know, this is like if I was reborn as blah 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 blah,
No.
and like
Here's a better way to describe it. fantasy shows, like the main character dies and he gets
Sometimes.
teleported into another world.
Sometimes
No,
they
but the
die.
whole idea, it's like it's adventuring.
Yeah, it's
The
like
whole thing of
they,
isekai is adventuring.
they're in the human world typically, and they're born as something else, or they're transported to like another dimension where they're like something else. Sometimes
Think of it like living
they're
Lord
like
of the
a-
Rings.
They're like they're like whatever. Like they can be born as an overlord, they're like an overlord. They can be born as a hero, shield
knight,
hero, a
mage.
knight. What is that? The one with the goo? Who was
Oh,
was
the
born as
slime
a
one?
slime.
Yeah, I was born as a slime.
So a whole bunch of different things. So, but like,
They're progressively getting more and more perverted.
I was thinking about this the other day. Like, what is the difference between having the connotation of you being taken from one place and now you're in somewhere else versus, because you could literally tell the same story just from like the character itself going through, this world or or growing. Yeah. So I'm curious about that piece. Like, what is it that has been so attractive of this trend? Is it like people today just want to, because it's more, so when we watch these shows and these things, right?
Yeah.
Some of it is escapism, right? We want to see a new story. We want to see a new adventure. But now, like, we're telling people, hey, this character literally lost or not even lost, but got rid of their old life and now they're in a new life. So it's like more in your face, like, oh, so is it like easier now for people to get themselves like, oh, like, is it like that? Have we gotten to that point where we just need so much escapism that we really want to see like a character that was able to get out of their life and now they're living a new life even better? I'm wondering if that is why these have been so much more.
I think these are popular because of the escapism. Like, if we really take a look at how people are right now, everybody is struggling economically. A lot of people struggling with relationships, be it romantic or not. So to be able to put yourself out of your struggle and live the life that you want to live through different, anime characters, I think that's really just what it is. There's just so much out there because there's so many people that are lonely, so many people that are hurt.
Crap, Michael, I can't believe I forgot about Sword Art Online.
Oh, Sword
Wow.
Art.
I can't believe that was like one of the first ones that really started that.
Well, no. Isekai Inuyasha.
Actually, no, not even Inuyasha. No.
Yes.
Inuyasha, Hawk that sign or however.
Oh,
That's what started it. Yup.
Yeah, you're an OG if you know what that is.
Tsunami, bro.
Wow.
That anime made no sense, but we watched it anyway.
I know. See, no, I gave up on that. But you got that. There was oh my lord. Yeah. Dot hack sign. Wow.
But it's getting late. As we close, all right. So clearly we talked about a lot of stuff. And like for this person that like hit us up,
yes.
We went through different scenarios and different ways to think about it because there isn't a, hey, thou shalt not watch anime, right? Or thou shalt not watch TV shows that are violent in the Bible, right? So you have to use a little bit of your thinking, critically skills. You gotta use a little bit of the Holy Spirit's guidance, and you gotta also talk to some mature Christians, and all of that should come together, and you should be able to make a better decision. So I think that overall our goal is to talk through some of these ideas, and hopefully that gives you enough for you to be able to make your own decision. Yes. And Andy Song reminded us of
Sparking
this
Zero,
is the game.
Bro. Yeah, this is the game. It's just way better cell shading. It looks more like the show. It looks like very similar to.
These are all cutscenes, though.
So that means we're banning Attack on Titan. No, we're not banning that. Attack on Titan, bro, that is some amazing stuff. Yeah, it's just including all the new stuff. All the new characters and video games now. A lot of the cutscenes look just like the gameplay.
I don't know. I feel like this was all cutscenes. Is this gameplay right here?
It's supposed to be game. No, it's the announcement.
No.
Here you go. No, right there. Pick that.
This
there
one?
you go. Yeah, that's gameplay.
Let's see.
You see? It looks just like
No, there's no gameplay yet. This is all like talking so far. Okay, here's the gameplay. Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks. It looks like you're playing the show.
I will give it that.
Yeah. A lot better than Kakarot, that's for sure. And that wasn't a bad game. That was actually pretty good. I liked it at least. Yeah, next we got to do Dragon Ball Z video games. Oh, not Dragon Ball Z video games, but anime video games. And are they really worth it?
Ooh, I like that effect.
Yeah, like it
That
does
was
that,
nice.
rips the clothes.
No, just like the hit.
Oh, yeah.
It reminded me of Naruto a little bit. Yeah.
It looks good.
Looks more self-funny.
I'm probably going to buy it and not play it because I won't have time to play it, but
Oh, bro.
I'll get the physical
Well,
copy.
see, but it's... I can do fighting games. Because fighting games, you can just sit down 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there.
Yeah,
you can pick them
can't.
up whenever.
Yeah.
But like these, story games, it's tough because then you
I am
forget the
sure.
moves, all the stuff that you used to do before. With a fighting game, it's just, hey, press pause, look at a few moves, go back, and
I'm struggling right now
Keep
because I
going.
have Final Fantasy VII, and it's been so difficult to find time to sit and to play. I'm like maybe 10% through the game, and it's like
yeah.
probably won't be done for the next 2 years.
Let me ask you something. Did you see the new episode of Attack on Titan? Not Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer?
No, I have to. I was really focused on Jujutsu Kaisen that I forgot that came out, so I gotta watch that.
I
I'll
gotta
watch that tomorrow
say,
during the gym.
ladies and gentlemen, this was one of the better episodes. This is probably the best episode of
Can we
the
kick Michael
anime
out?
season thus far. Why?
Demon Slayer is trash. This dude is
I mean,
wild.
this season hasn't been great. I think this was like the first good episode of the season. What do you think, Mike? Tell me the truth.
Now, again, guys, for Reform Nerd, Manny has his opinion. I got mine. I think
And-
you're wild for saying that.
And mine are better. Demon Slayer equals
Attention Slayer.
Insomnia Slayer.
Oh
Attention
my
Slayer.
gosh. See, you gotta take Hans's critique of stuff with a grain of salt.
I mean, this season so far, I don't know. Like, it hasn't been anything great.
That's how you know that Demon Slayer is good. That it doesn't need to give you constant violence to keep you.
It's
Like,
not about the
interested in the
violence.
story.
It's just even like
Wait,
the story itself.
the new season of My Hero's out. Oh snap! I gotta get on that if that's out because I've been waiting for that, man.
I watched the first episode of My Hero.
Yeah, I'm finally getting
the
Manny
other
back
day.
on.
So I don't know. Maybe I don't know, man. I feel like I'm almost gonna go through the same thing. Like I'm just gonna stop at the same spot where it just got boring.
Bro, you gotta
It
push
got boring
through.
for a while.
Gotta push.
I know.
through.
We'll see.
That's one I haven't seen. Vinland Saga. I know
Vinland was
Patrick.
good.
I know.
But Vinland is a show that, like, Dragon Ball Z has a good bit of rewatchability. So does I'll give it to My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
I don't think so much Attack on Titan. Naruto to an extent does.
Story
But
building.
Vinland, it's not. I'm talking about like shows that you can go back and like watch. How often can you go watch them? I think Vinland, you gotta wait a while before you watch it again and you forget about it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, what? It's pretty good.
Yeah, people have been telling me, and
Yeah.
I just put it in the back.
If
burner.
you are a Christian, you should be watching Vinland Saga. Anyways, Andre, let's close it out.
Alrighty, guys.
Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate your participation. I think we need to do a little bit more anime stuff. Got these people going wild over here.
Now, guys, remember, you can send us questions. Send it on Instagram. Send it on the comments. Did we ever show Shadow of Humanity's Bible verse that they asked us about?
Oh, snap. Yeah,
we can't close without
All
answering that.
right. Let's bring that up real quick.
So
and
sorry
then-
we forgot about that.
And then we will be out.
I hope you're still there with us, Shadow.
Yeah, Shadow.
Send us a message. Let us
With
know if you're
Shadow
still
of
there
a
now.
Doubt.
No, all the way up.
What is it, 22 and 23, right? I think.
Let's see. Shadow of Humanity.
Yeah, 2022. You want to read it?
Alrighty. So your eye is like a lamp that provides light for your body. When your eye is healthy, your whole body is filled with light. But when your eye is unhealthy, your whole body is filled with darkness. And if the light you think you have is actually darkness, how deep that darkness is.
Yeah, I agree. I think we talked about a good bit of that, being mindful of what you're watching. I mean, if you think about it, Eve was first tempted outside of the lie. One of the first things that the serpent points out to is how beautiful the fruit looked.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And how enticing it was. And that's what led her to continue falling into temptation. So we definitely got to be mindful of what we let our eyes see.
Again, you just cut out the fan service. And even still, it really is on where you're... Well, right, so because part of it's like where you're at, but this is a really good point. Like, if you're constantly taking in dark stuff all the time,
yeah,
you know, it does mess you up.
That's why I don't watch sad stuff when I come home from work. I watch happy stuff, bro.
Oh my Lord.
Yo, I don't understand these people that like want to go in there and like
Lord.
watch like depressing stuff all day. It's weird. Women do that a lot. It's kind of like
Lifetime channel.
Yeah, Lifetime or Investigation Discovery. I got on my wife sometimes. I'm like, yo, like you gotta watch some happy stuff. Like that's
No, but it's that I think it's important that we take a look and we see, okay, what is the ultimate goal of what's being put here? Like, there's a manga that I read about. I haven't read it. Very, very dark. And I was like, okay, this fits into this perfectly because it's very dark. The story about it includes a lot of people with, you know, a lot of different sexual situations that happen in real life. And there's like nothing good that you can pull out of that. It is pure darkness. And it brings up another question that we should address on the next live. But what is up with the with the obsession that a lot of these fans have? And if you notice with a lot of us anime nerds, right? Like you start with one thing, and then if you really let it, you know, continue on, you just watch darker and darker and more depraved stuff, and then you start getting to like the really weird things. It's like, why is that so common with anime people?
Yeah, maybe we'll have an Isekai episode next. That'll be a good one.
Maybe.
Can weave it in there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us, and as always,
remember that we must
persevere. Peace.
Have a good night,
Thank you
y'all.
for joining us.